Hey everyone, Remy Maya here, founder of Hollows Body, formerly Max Out Your Gym. And today I'm with the GOAT, Tye from Vive. How's it going, man?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Super good to have you back in the game, the gym game, the fitness consulting. You were gone for how long again?
Yeah, man. I had my little 2.5 year wander in the forest to go and find myself. And yeah, I'm back. I feel good.
Yeah, I'm super excited that you're back now. So yeah, can you tell us why real quick? So we're going to speak about the recession, inflation, recession, and what the gym owners should do during that difficult time. But first, yeah, I would like you to explain why you were gone, why you're back. If you can give us a little bit of your story.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So it's pretty simple. Unfortunately, it was burnout. It was classic burnout. It was, which I'm almost embarrassed to admit because I'd been through a burnout like this before. Anyone who's been to my seminars, that's how I open the seminar. Is I talk about my background and I start with burning out from martial arts in 2009, 2010, and so you'd think I'd see it coming. And then a big part of my job as a business coach for gym owners is witnessing and trying to get in front of business owners that are burning out themselves. And so I saw it every single day, but apparently I wasn't quite bright enough to see it when I was going through it. And because the burnout was built atop a bunch of good ideas. And, we talk about this with our clients all the time, good ideas, cool ideas, they're a dime a dozen. Doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. And I got so caught up after 7 years with just layering cool idea on top of cool idea. And it created a monster. We had so many different things going on with Vive Group and Affiliate Solution before that. And then mix that in with, for the last 4.5 years of Vive Group, I went to 56 countries. I was spending between 6 and 9 months overseas. Sometimes I was lucky enough to do that with my family, but most of the time it was either me and the team or it was just me by myself. And, you've traveled a lot, that starts to wear on you after a while. You're doing massive
I think 3 seminars with you, and It was only 3. And already I was like, whoa, that's a lot of traveling. Yeah. And yeah, I'm a traveler myself. I'm nomadic. I keep traveling all the time. But yeah, doing those seminars was a lot of traveling. So yeah, I understand what you mean. Man.
And that was an okay trip. That was a pretty chill trip. Some of the trips we did before that, we would go away for 6 weeks. We'd do a seminar Saturday, Sunday, fly Monday, one-on-one coaching Tuesday, fly, and each of these flights is to a different country, one-on-one coaching on Thursday, fly on Friday, 2-day seminar, repeat that for 6 weeks straight without a day off, and then, fly back usually from Europe or the US back to Australia, and then back into it. I had a young family. Yeah, it was chaos, man. It was insane. And I had an amazing time until I didn't manage myself well. So I burn out. I burn out bad. It wasn't fun. And so I needed to decompress. I needed to find something that was, very low stress, absolutely zero pressure, something I could just enjoy without worrying. And then right around that time, I made the decision to walk away from Vive and go to stick with photography. And I think it was less than 2 weeks after that COVID hit and lockdowns hit. And, we all know how that ended up. That was chaos. So It was definitely an interesting few years. And then a couple of months ago, I was shooting at a CrossFit event at the Torian, amazing, best CrossFit event in Australia. I was there as a photographer. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be around CrossFit. I didn't want to run into anyone I knew. I just had this, this weird feeling about this whole community because it had consumed my life for so long. And I was nervous. I didn't sleep the night before because I just was anxious about going to the event. And then as soon as I got there, before lunchtime, I was like, this is it. These are my people. This is who I need to be around. I felt so good. I just random CrossFitters coming up and saying hello. They didn't know who I was. I'd never met them, but just seeing how vibrant the community was, how good the people are. And yeah, that was kind of it. It was over the next 3 days, the idea just kind of, once that seed was planted, there was no stopping it. And by the end of the 3 days, I came home and had a chat with my wife. It's a big decision. And yeah, the rest is history. Now we're back and, we're working with box owners, and man, I couldn't be happier. I'm sleeping. You can't wipe the smile on my face. I have energy. Yeah, life's good.
That's awesome. And so what are the takeaways, the lessons that you learned from that burnout?
Yeah.
So that we can learn from you, so that gym owners don't have to go through that.
Yeah, hopefully I can learn from myself as well.
On how to avoid it.
Absolutely, yeah. Number one, focus on what matters. A big problem was we did well. And I think that was part of the curse was I wasn't okay with doing well. All of the numbers that mattered were good in the business. And so I think I ended up just getting distracted by chasing other numbers, dumb numbers, vanity metrics. Last year we went to 10 countries. Can we go to 20 countries this year? Last year we held this many seminars, or we did, it was just all shit that really, at the core of it, the business is about helping box owners, achieve whatever their version of success is, and giving myself and my family the life I need.
Right.
And that's all that matters. And any metric that reflects that, that's all I should give a shit about. But, right. I got caught up in, that hustle entrepreneur, which was funny. I used to talk shit about that hustle mentality. Meanwhile, I was deep in it. So that was the first thing was, really define what matters, and then stick to that, be okay sticking to that. I get bored easily, so I get distracted. I want to try new things. And then the second thing is the 2 S's. Is it sustainable? Is it scalable? Sure, you can do this. Yes, you can do, a 4-week trip to 8 countries and do seminars and like that. Cool, dude. Can you keep doing this? What does this look like in a year? What does this look like in 7 years?
Right.
And if we're trying to build something long-term and sustainable, then we've really got to ask, where does this fit?
Right.
That's the 2 biggest things. And I think, again, having some sort of reminder of why you started what you started. I think that's so easy. It's so easy to get caught up. You're so far down the road of progress that you can't see the origin point. You can't see oh man, I started Vibe Group because a very close box owner friend of mine, he was struggling. I wasn't a business coach. I was just a box owner. I felt like I had something to help him with, but then I also felt like it wasn't my place to stick my nose in. And so I didn't say anything, and I kept out of it. And that box owner ended up not only closing his box, but he lost his marriage in a big part because of the stress that box put on it. And I felt horrible, like I could have and should have helped when I had the chance. And that's what made me start Affiliate Solution, Atomic Solution, I think it was called actually, for the first 2 weeks. But yeah, so I think for a lot of box owners and gym owners out there, you've really got to go back to, well, don't get caught up in what the gym down the road is doing, or vanity metrics, or just the hustle and bustle and the chaos of day-to-day running a box. Why did you start this? Go back to that.
Right.
It's the longer we do this, the easier it is to get lost.
So for instance, some vanity metrics for gym owners could be the number of members. That's a cool metric, but let's say you have 400 members, but you charge $100 a month, and actually profit is not that great, and you have to handle 400 relationships. You need a bunch of coaches to deliver the classes, and actually your profit margin is what, a few percent, or actually you just break even. What's the point, right? That would be a vanity metric.
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of times that we've seen massive boxes, both in membership or square meter, or like I've seen some 1,000 member boxes close in the US. There's been a couple of big ones that stand out, and they've just gone bankrupt, and they've just put themselves into a terrible position. Sometimes it's, because of following a vanity metric, and number of members by itself is a vanity metric. Obviously, it has its place when combined with other metrics, but they would get so obsessed with that, or they'd over leverage themselves on expansions or opening multiple. Again, stuff that doesn't hark back to the core reason why they started this. So yeah, number of members, definitely a vanity metric. On the opposite side of that, how much you charge, also a vanity metric. Like you said, it by itself, these numbers don't mean shit. The dumbest one is, I can't believe I still hear this, but I still have box owners that are proud of how many Facebook or Instagram followers they have. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? Yeah.
Who cares? It's the wildest thing. In the CrossFit world specifically, we've had this many people go to regionals. We had this person almost go to the games. We have this team that did really well at the local who gives a fuck competition. Again, vanity metrics. You didn't open the gym to create these badass competitors, and if you did, you probably need your head checked. You open this gym to change real people's lives in a meaningful way, and create a lifestyle for yourself, your family, your team. Right? What has creating some badass athletes got to do with that? So yeah, it's super easy to get lost in these numbers, man, and especially with a monotonous business. And I think that's a big something that people don't address is running a gym. Whether it's a CrossFit gym, a HIIT gym, anything where today looks a lot like tomorrow, looks a lot like next week. It is kind of Groundhog Day in terms of running the classes again and again. It's really easy to chase after nonsense because you kind of get bored in doing the same thing day after day after day. It's a very simple business model with very complex people running it. Generally A-type personalities, people who like to poke and prod and tweak and develop and kind of, squirrel, get distracted really quickly. So yeah, often that's the big reason. I think that's exactly what happened to me as well.
Right, because the thing is that even if, let's say, a gym owner has only 150 members, that gym owner can easily make 30K a month with 150 members, and can easily have a 50% profit margin so that he can take home 15,000 a month. Yeah. And now, actually, that's a cool business because 150 members is not too many members to handle. Yep. It's an easy business to handle, but when you make 15,000 a month profits, well, that's kind of cool. That's a pretty good salary. That's 180,000 per month as a salary for the owner, and that's cool. That's like doctor or lawyer salary here we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And look, this is a lifestyle business. Anyone who goes, I'm going to be the next Elon Musk by opening small gyms. You need your head checked. That's insane. We do this because it's a passion we have and we want to create a lifestyle, right? We love changing people's lives through fitness, and we want to, we want to be able to go on holiday. We want to be able to spend time with our kids. We want the freedom to be there or not be there. And a lot of people, they get to that point. That's the sad part, is they actually hit. If you look back through their business over the last 10 years, you can probably see a point where you go, if you had have just stopped there, if you had have stopped complicating and adding shit and getting distracted and just had to stop there and then refined it, sharpened that blade, you would be, you'd be in the position you're talking about there, which, by the way, a box who's profiting $15,000 a month, you're in the top, not 1% of small boxes in the world. You're in the top 0.1%, which is a bummer. But most boxers, they get to that point, and it's that drive, that the adult onset ADHD, whatever it is, that forces us to keep tweaking, keep moving. And what we end up doing is we create not just a business for ourselves, a job for ourselves instead of a business, but we create a shitty fucking business. One that doesn't pay well, that makes you wake up early, stay up late, and that causes a whole ton of stress. Instead of going, look, what lifestyle do I want? what lifestyle do I need and my team needs? Well, let's just create the business that makes that. And then once we get there, we'll keep constantly refining and tweaking, but we're not going to overcomplicate it and, you know, open multiple locations and all this stuff. You know, that's almost always a bad idea, but people get excited.
And I think those vanity metrics are interesting because I don't think there is any gym owner that started their gyms thinking, oh, I'm going to send as many athletes to the CrossFit Games as possible, or oh, I'm going to try to have 500 members. Yeah. They don't start with that mission, right? But it's over the years that then they start chasing those metrics. Why do you think that is?
A combination of, number one, like we said, you know, we get bored really easily. So we've got these very simple, very humble goals. And then after years and years of doing that, you go, wow, shit, you know, I need something new. Or the road to the humble goals isn't working. And so instead of taking responsibility and saying, well, okay, maybe I need to work on what I've got, the arrogance that we all have, the ego that we all have says, well, no, I'm doing it perfectly. Obviously, I do everything perfectly. I am perfect. So the problem isn't what I'm doing. The problem is I need to do more. You know, the amount of people that diversify away from their core competency because they're not making enough money. And when you look at it, they're running at literally 40% capacity on that core competency, whether that is CrossFit classes or HIIT classes or, you know, backflip classes, I don't care. But whatever it is, they go, well, I'm not making enough money off that class. It can't be that class, you know, has further to go, that it's not optimized. It can't be that, because I'm amazing. I'm the fucking, and this is all, I'm not having a shot at anyone. This is all our ego speaking, trying to protect us from any poor self-reflection. So instead of dealing with the core competency, the reason that we opened our gym in the first place, what people come for, pay for, and stay for, we go, well, I need to diversify. That's a horrible word. You know, it's 99% of the time, it's an excuse for, I haven't worked out how to do A. So I'm going to take the bitch route out and I'm going to just try to do B, C, D. And I'm going to do them as poorly as I did A. And then when B doesn't work, I'll blame B and I'll do C. And when C doesn't work, I'll blame. And it's just this cycle. And what you end up with is a gym full of chaos and nothing works. You've mastered nothing. You know, I always laugh at people want to add complexity to any business, and they haven't proved to the universe that they can run a simple business yet. You know, CrossFit gym, just open, do CrossFit, do it better than you did it yesterday. Do that for 3 years, and then you've earned the right to add whatever bullshit specialty class you want to add on. You know, but you've got to master that basic first. You've got to be undeniable at one thing, and that's going to be more important over the next few years than ever. But we'll get to that.
So here's my point of view on that, if I can share. I think that for most gym owners, for 99% of the gym owners, when they start, they are right? The priority is, I just want people to be healthier.
Yeah.
But then with the years, they realize that actually it's hard to transform people's lives and provide them with results in terms of health and fitness. And then that's why then they go after, okay, then I can't do A, then therefore I'll try to get 300, 400, 500, 600 members, or I'll try to send as many athletes to the games, or then they go for B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Yeah. And I think it's because over the years, they're like, oh, those people that really need help the most, don't necessarily have the right mindset. And they don't really know on how to coach them on their mindsets. And so they kind of like give up on people who are overweight, obese, with diabetes, with chronic diseases, you know, like, which is now in the US, 75%. I think in Australia it's about the same, like 70%, something like that. Yeah. Overweight and obese, for chronic diseases, it's 60% in the US. I'm not sure about in Australia. Yeah. But they kind of like give up on that first mission that they had, because I believe that a CrossFit level 1 or a certification like that, where you learn how to coach, the fitness movements is just not enough. And that gym owners and coaches also need to learn how to train the mind in terms of habit coaching, mindset coaching, accountability coaching, health coaching, all those things. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's we'll kind of focus on the CrossFit world because I think that's the main kind of part of what we circle around. But this, whenever I say CrossFit, I mean small gym.
Functional gym,
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people, it's very easy to say that anyone can do CrossFit. CrossFit is for everyone. Absolutely. Yeah, it's really easy to share some of these beautiful member story videos that HQ puts out. Absolutely it is. The truth is, though, a lot of people, with whether they know it or not, they just want to coach CrossFitters. They want someone to come to them who can move pretty well, and then they get to be the super coach who gets that person to move really well. They want to be the one who gets you that double body weight deadlift for the first time. They want to take you from, the high hang snatch to the full snatch. They want to do the cool, sexy stuff. And the truth is training normal people, training this overweight, overfed, sick population that we have is not sexy. It's not fun. You are going to teach the air squat 1,000,000 times. You are going to have to really go through. You are going to spend 6 months getting someone their first push-up. And if you want to do this for the long term, you have to feed off that. You actually have to enjoy that. You can't just put up with it, because you're not going to have a gym full of CrossFitters, at least, not whilst being successful. So yeah. And then the other side of it is, and you and I have talked about this a bunch. Too many coaches, too many box owners, they see their gym as a movement facility. We're here to teach movement. That's how we get people fit. And that's a part of it. It's a really important part of it. But if you don't have, the obvious things like nutrition and sleep, but also just mindset, you talk so much about the holistic approach to health, fitness, wellness. It's a lot more than how much can you back squat. It's a lot more than how good is your Fran time. There's so much to it. And the truth is, I've said the truth is 100 times. There's so many truths to get out. I've been holding it back for 2.5 years, Remy. The truth is that teaching CrossFit, teaching the movement side of CrossFit is the easiest thing you'll do in the gym. Working on people's mindset, working on, maybe they've got, you talk about a lot, maybe they've got some trauma that's affecting the way that they're eating or the way that they're receiving coaching or the way that they're sleeping. This gets really, really into some deep waters. And I just think a lot of people don't want to do that, which is fine. That's totally fine. But you have to accept that the results that you'll get will be directly proportionate to the effort that you put in. So if you think that you can create a gym that is just a movement facility and that's all that you do, that's okay. That's fine. But when the sneaky R word that's coming, recession, right? Or what, a challenging market for those who are scared of the R word. Every business is going to be put on a comparison board next to each other. All of your clients and potential clients are going to really start making their decisions, based on tighter metrics. They've got less money to spend. Things are a little bit unstable and scary. And so if your only selling point is, hey, we're a movement facility, then how are you going to compete? That's not what people need. No, it's not enough. It's not what people need. And if the gym next door, if the gym down the road offers a more holistic approach, then yeah, you're fucked.
Right.
You can't be the best if you're not the best. And probably, I think it's important. Yeah.
I was going to say probably 10 years ago, it would have been enough. But now there are so many CrossFit or functional training gyms that is just not enough anymore because there is only 8% of the people that would stick to their habits, stick to their goals, and be like competitive kind of, and do a Fran and, do this kind of stuff. And all of the gym owners, I mean, not all, most of the gym owners want to go after those 8% of the population because those are the best clients. But what if you can find a way to help the 92 other percent? Now you can tap into a niche that is untapped. And now, boom, you can really grow your gym really easily if you figure out how to help those people in terms of what's going on with their mindset.
Yeah. And that 8% of people don't need you. Exactly. It's hard. Your favorite
if you go after
members
those people during a recession, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Though that 8%, and this is a really hard thing to hear, but those competitors, those people who live and breathe, if you shut down your gym tomorrow, they would be at a new gym by this afternoon. No,
exactly.
If you shut down your gym this afternoon, they'd be, damn, that was such a good point that I fucked up. If you shut down your gym today, they would be at a new gym by tomorrow because, again, they don't need you there. With or without you, those people are going to be fit. That's fine. You are just the person who is guiding them at this point. Who needs you is, the 45-year-old mum of 3 who has never done a sport, who's never got off the lounge, finally worked up the courage to step foot in your gym, and you've changed her life in the most significant way possible, which is you are giving her years at the end of her life, right? She needs you. And if you close tomorrow because, any of these things that we've spoken about, you've done things wrong, you've gone down the wrong path. If you close tomorrow, she doesn't go to a new gym. She most likely goes back to the couch. Right. Or whether we're talking about just being able to put your head on the pillow at night, knowing that you're doing the right thing, that you're affecting the right people and that you're causing a real change in the world. Either way, it comes back to help these people. Stop saying, oh, we're a gym for, Gen Pop, for the average Joe. Be it. Stop saying it,
right. Because
I think it's important
if
as well.
Let's say 5, 10 functional gyms in your city. Well, guess what? During a recession, people will just go to the cheapest one.
Yeah.
Right. But now, if you're the only center that is more holistic, let's say, well, you're just the only one. So they're not going to go to the cheapest one.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And I think it's really important to say, and I, because we're both getting fired up. If you're an affiliate owner or if you're a gym owner or whatever, and you're watching this, we're kind of focusing on negative things a little bit, which I get some people can kind of get a little bit upset about, whatever. We say it out of passion. We say it out of love. We say it because we know what your gym can be. So anything less than what it can be is unacceptable. And it's unacceptable to us. And it's not our gym. We don't know you probably, right? If it's unacceptable to us as two strangers, it sure as fuck better be unacceptable to you. So if I'm fired up about your gym not reaching its potential, why aren't you fired up about it? So because I know some people get a little bit bummed out with how aggressively passionate I can be and you can be. So I just want to put that out there. If we're coming across as aggressive, it's out of love. It's because we know what your gym can be.
And I'm just going to share my screen also to explain why we're getting passionate here. Can you see that, Tye?
Yeah.
So this is the inflation rate. So I'm showing the US one, but probably all over the world is the same way. We are 9.1% here.
Yeah, man. Last in 40-something years.
For that's for June. 9.1% for June. So it means, what does it mean? It means that if you have $100 in the bank, now it's worth 91. That's what it means, right? And so what it creates is that, well, you can buy less with the money that you have. And what it creates also here is a second metric that I found. So this is for the last, let me try to show the last 5 years. Okay, so the last 5 years. So we are here, you see, minus 4.21%. And that metric here is the 10-2-year treasury yield spread. So what does it mean? It's the difference between the 10-year treasury rate and the 2-year treasury rate. A 10-2 treasury spread that approaches zero and we just crossed the zero, and now we are at minus 0.2, signifies a flattening yield curve. A negative 10-2 yield spread has historically been viewed as a precursor to a recessionary period. And a negative 10-2 spread has predicted every recession from 1955 to 2018, but has occurred 6 to 24 months before the recession occurring. So it means that now we have an indicator that tells us that in 6 to 24 months, there will be a big recession. And that's why we're doing this podcast today, so that you can prepare for that recession coming. This recession is coming, right? And so that's why we want you to prepare for it.
For anyone who doesn't have a background in economics, anyone who's a bit slow with numbers like me, I'll put that into layman's terms. What do those numbers mean? They mean it's time to stop fucking around. You know, they mean that the days of opening your gym, slapping a name on the front and having a, you know, hoping that just community and culture organically propagating and showing up and being an excited coach, the days of that being enough are done, right? We had the good times, right? Everyone got to, you know, the amount of shit you could get away with over the last 10 years being a gym owner in terms of not optimizing your gym, not just following some basic business practices, not doing things the way you knew that they should be done. You could get away with it. You could make every mistake in the book and still have your 60 members that just paid rent, just paid enough for you to eat and sleep every day. You could get away with that and whilst making every mistake in the book. Those days are over. The margin for error is nil, right? So I'm imploring gym owners, fix your shit. And this isn't a sales pitch. I don't care if you do it with me, Remy, or anyone else. Fix your shit, because there is no room for error anymore, right? And the good news is, the reason that I'm kind of optimistic, very optimistic about this, is number one, it is not hard to fix your shit, right? It's not complicated. It's simple. It's hard in the same way that a deadlift is hard, right? It's not complicated, but you're going to put the work in. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to do things that, you know, whether it's leading your team or, you know, raising pride, whatever it is, you're going to do stuff that's difficult, but it's the only way you're around in 5 years. You know what I mean? It's the numbers are on the wall. There's no arguing with it anymore. So yeah, the playtime's over. The good days are done, which is fine.
Exactly.
You can still achieve great things, but not by doing nothing, not by sitting around and, you know, twiddling your fingers.
So we already spoke about some strategies, right, that gym owners can implement now to prepare for that recession that is coming soon. What other strategies could we recommend here, Tye?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is kind of the starting point, I guess, is mindset. If you don't have the right mindset moving into this, all the strategies in the world are going to mean nothing. And the mindset is, I want to be clear, we're not talking about this stuff and bringing up these numbers, and we're not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm trying to call you to action. I'm trying to get you to see the writing on the wall and go, okay, time to stop fucking around, time to get to work, right? The flip side of that coin is, this is not an excuse, right? Oh, there's a recession, that's why we're not getting members. No, you're not getting members because because of these 400 reasons. You're not getting members now for the same reason you weren't getting members before the recession, right? But if this is our recession, if this is what's going to happen, which I think is pretty clear it is, this is just what our generation has to deal with, right? It's not an excuse to do nothing. It's not to throw your hands, throw your hands in the air and say, oh, well, you know, can't run a business anymore, recession's coming, and that's why all these bad things happen. This is our burden. Our parents had their burdens. Our grandparents sure as shit had their burdens. Every generation has something they have to overcome. It's not the end of the world, right? It just means that you have to stand up straight, put your shoes on, and do the job, do it properly, right? Stop mucking around. So that's the first thing, is I'm hearing a lot of box owners giving me a very defeatist mindset already before the recession has even kicked in, or maybe it has kicked in, who knows, right? But a lot of box owners, the recession is their excuse, right? No, it's not an excuse. It is a factor. It is a factor that we have to acknowledge.
To provide some background here, you just spoke with like hundreds of gym owners in the last months, basically, since you decided to relaunch Vive. You're like, okay, I'm just going to offer a bunch of free consultations to gym owners, right? And you're still doing that now, actually, right? So you have a pulse on what's going on, and this is what gym owners are telling you now, right?
Yeah, I for the last nearly 2 months, I've been doing 4 or 5 calls a day. Yeah, it's been insane. It's just been a flood of information. A big part of it was to get my finger back on the pulse of where the community's at, what they need, so that I can create whatever it is that they need. And COVID is an excuse, recession is an excuse, and I don't want to downplay. Both of those things are serious. COVID was, we're kidding ourselves if we don't think it was traumatic, right? It was a universal traumatic experience to the world as a whole. It sucked bad. But you've got to have the mindset of stepping back and going, okay, that's a factor. Is it a terminal factor? Right? Because a lot of people are kind of treating the upcoming recession like a terminal factor, in that this single factor alone is going to cause us to stop doing business no matter what we do. No, it is not. All right. If it is, we have a lot more shit to worry about than, we need to worry about zombie apocalypse type stuff. If that's really what it is, which it's obviously not. It just means that it's going to be harder, right? It means that your shit has to be tightened up. That's all it is. So that's the first thing, is acknowledging that this is a serious situation and that it is time to pull your socks up and get to work. Whilst on the other side of the coin, not using the recession as an excuse, right? It is just another factor that is going to make life difficult. My martial arts business, our peak, just before my burnout, our peak business was during the 2018 recession, 2018, 2019, 2008, 2009, rather. That was the peak of my martial arts business, right? And I remember, I was young and I was arrogant, and I saw everyone around me, gyms closing, people using that recession as an excuse of why no one wants to spend money, especially on something that's as disposable as a fitness class, or in my case, a martial arts school. Something that is already hard to convince people to be a part of. And so I just use that as, okay, well, if everyone else has a defeatist mentality, that leaves a nice little space for me to go in and charge hard. And that's what I did. And, so your mindset is going to determine everything from day one. You can take every strategy that, whether it's myself, Remy, or any other coach is going to throw at you. And if you're going in and you've already decided that the recession or post-COVID, or whatever you want to call this phase, is an excuse, you'll use that excuse. You'll pull that card 100% of the time as soon as anything gets tricky. So that's the first thing. Get your mind right, get focused, but don't use it as an excuse.
Right. I also think that it's time for gym owners to get a lot of new members now, a lot of new clients now, and generate a lot of cash now. Because the recession is not here quite yet.
Yeah.
It's in 6 months. But so it means that you have 6 months to grow your gym and generate a lot of cash, so that when it's going to be harder in the recession, well, at least you're sitting on a pile of cash.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Hell of a lot easier to keep those members around than to try and get new members during the middle of recession. Again, not impossible to do either, but let's make our lives as easy as they can, during a tricky period. So yeah, absolutely. Now is definitely a time, and not to step on your side of things, but yes, marketing is a beautiful way to do that. Yes, paid marketing, a partnership market, whatever, that's an amazing thing to do it. But for God's sakes, if you're a gym owner out there who's been open for more than a year, especially 3, 5, 7, 10 years, your list of ex-members is huge, way bigger than you think it is, right? If every time I ask a gym owner, how many ex-members do you have on your list? They give me a number off the top of their head, what they think it is. then we print out a report, and it's always like double, sometimes triple that number, because it's our ego trying to protect us from what is essentially proof that we fucked up, right? Proof that we weren't able to provide what these people needed. So yes, paid marketing is amazing. And if you want help with the paid marketing side of things, I know a guy, check him out. But at the same time, you've got this list of the hottest leads imaginable, right? If you want to use those terms, people who can walk into your gym tomorrow and they'll start paying from day one. They don't need to do your on-ramp. You don't need to worry about whether they'll fit in with your culture. You don't need to worry about whether they're going to quit because they got sore after 2 weeks. They've already been through this. They know the program. They know how it works. They're a known factor. And the reason that boxers don't do this, I'm not saying anything revolutionary here. It's an obvious solution to an obvious problem. The reason boxers don't do this is the ex-girlfriend effect, rather. Right? You think, oh no, Sarah left our gym, and if I call her, it'll be weird. If we bump into each other in the street, it'll be. Stop giving yourself so much credit for being a part of Sarah's life. She probably left for a bunch of factors that had nothing to do with you, right? Work got busy. She broke up with her boyfriend, whatever. And now it's been 6 months. Those factors are different. She may very well be in a good place to come back into your gym. So why not reach out to her? And the worst thing that can happen is everything stays the same. There's no lose, right? She's not a member. She can't get any more not a member, right? You send her a video message saying, hey, we miss you, blah, 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 come back. You know, this is, you give them some sort of offer that makes it a slippery process to get them in. She's not going to reply and go, no, I'm not going to come back. And I'm going to take 3 members away from you. Like, there is no penalty.
Right.
You either win or you spent 30 seconds sending a video message.
Right. And I would say there is a big chance that they left because they lost their job, because something happened and life got in the way.
Yeah.
I would also say that there is also a chance where you were not as transformational as you could be with your services. And also that would be probably a reason. And if you decide now to be more transformational by helping with sleep, nutrition, habits, health coaching, mindset coaching.
Yep.
And now when you follow up with, what was it, Sarah?
Yeah, sure, Sarah.
Sarah, I think you said. When you follow up with that video message with Sarah, you can speak about those new services that you offer now, and that you're the only holistic center in town now, and that's why she should come back, because also you improved. Because what happened during the pandemic? Well, the gyms were closed, so you had to get creative and to get more transformational, at least to help, with their mindset, their habits, accountability coaching, etc. And so now you can follow up and be like, all right, so this is what we learned during the pandemic, and this is what we will always provide from now on. That's why, we would love for you to come back. Absolutely. Because now we are more transformational.
Yeah. Again, if we go back to what we were talking about before, if all you were to Sarah was a movement academy, what happens when Sarah feels comfortable with those movements, right? What happens when Sarah came in and she just wanted to get fit? Cool. A year later, 2 years later, whatever, she's fit. What now? What, we're doing Diane again? Okay, cool. Where else? Where's my growth if I'm Sarah, right? What you end up with is black belt syndrome, right? So in martial arts, obviously, everybody, whether they admit it or not, everybody joins, they get that white belt, and they can just see one day that white belt is going to be black. It's a genius system, right? The grading system in martial arts is, it's the best goal-orientated progressional system that you can imagine. It works beautifully. So people spend years and years and years. If you're doing something like jiu-jitsu, you're talking 10 plus years to get your black belt, right? And then you finally get it. And guess what happens? More than 90% of those black belts will quit within the next year, usually within the next 2 or 3 months, right? Some of them, it's an ego thing. Now you're in a black belt. Now you're in the big boy world, you beating up all of the colored belts is no longer acceptable. Now you've got to actually stand up. But most of the time, you've had this singular goal for so long, a very simple kind of, singular goal. And you've been chasing it relentlessly, and now you've achieved it. And now what?
There's no more goals.
There's nothing. What are you going to do? Yeah, you get more Dans on your belt, whatever. But who cares? Where's the drive now? And so people fall off, and it's over 90%, right? Imagine that. A black belt, that was what you were obsessed over. And then you just fall away. And it's the same thing. If all you have to offer is movement, coaching, and getting people fit, okay, well, fitness is a bar. What happens when you get to that bar? Lots of people will stick around because of the community and the culture, and they just enjoy fitness. It's part of their daily practice. It's what keeps them mentally healthy as well. But a lot of people will go, okay, well, I'm here now. What else? So the other thing as well is, because I want to clarify something, because I don't want to send two, completely different messages here. In the same breath, you'll hear me say, especially when we talk about what to do during the recession, simplify and streamline your business, right? Be one thing and be all about that thing and be undeniable at that one thing. That is a massive part of success. And we're also saying that you need to offer a more holistic approach. What I'm not saying is, and I don't know if this is what you mean, so I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not saying, hey guys, you should offer CrossFit classes and breathwork classes and meditation classes and mental wellness class. I'm not saying that. I'm saying your core competency should encompass everything that makes up holistic health, right? In the same way that, obviously, right, there are very few people, I hope, who would argue that mobility needs to be part of your class, right? Obviously. That doesn't mean mobility needs to be a whole other class all by itself. It can be. I don't think it needs to be, but it can be. What I'm saying is that is something that you recognized as an issue. Members were not performing as well as they could, or they were injuring themselves. So we went, hey, we need more mobility. So I'm going to integrate that mobility into our curriculum, into our programming, right? That's all we're saying, is integrate a holistic approach to health that goes beyond movement. Movement might be the core of it. Movement might be, from the outside looking in, that might be what it appears to be. But there's an approach that is going to tick so many more boxes. And so when that person's wallet starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter, and they have to start choosing which parts of their lifestyle, that their disposable income, they're going to let go, you don't want to be on that list, right? Because you're offering something that they cannot live without.
Right.
Crazy fact, people can live without deadlifts. If that's all you're offering, then you're going to be made redundant very, very quickly.
Right. What I mean by this holistic approach is just caring and speaking with them on a one-on-one level.
Yeah.
And I would say at least once a week, right? And you don't have to become their psychologist. It can actually be quite simple, and you don't have to lecture them. You can just ask them questions. And because you're asking them bold, powerful questions, they coach themselves. I'm just going to give an example that I oftentimes give. So there was that fitness client that was eating a big bag of chips every day, potato chips full of seed oils, like a big bag. And so the health coach was like, when was the first time that you started eating this bag of chips? And then she thought about it, and she was like, well, actually, it was when I was sick as a little kid. This is what my mom was giving me when I was feeling sick to make me feel better. And so then the health coach was like, so what do you actually need when you eat those chips? Is it really the potato with the seed oil and the salt, or do you think it's something else? She thought about it, and she was like, well, actually, probably it's love and attention from my mom that I actually needed. Ah, interesting. What else could you do instead of eating that bag of cheese? What else could you do? I guess I could call my mom. Great. That was just 3 questions, and that's it. That fitness client stopped eating a bag of full bag of potato chips every day. And guess what? Then her fitness and energy levels was much better once she stopped. And that was like a 5-minute conversation where the health coach was just asking 3 questions.
Yeah.
So we're not asking you to speak about trauma. We're not asking you to, go deep into their childhood stuff, but just, care and speak with them. And so that they can change their habits.
Yeah.
Because the muscle ups and the deadlifts and the snatches are not enough. You also have to coach them on the other 23 hours where they're not at the gym, because realistically, they would spend 3 to 4 hours at the gym, right? But how many hours in a week? 24 times 7, that's 168 hours. They just spend 4 at the gym. You gotta coach them on the other 164 hours.
Yeah. Pulling them aside and saying, do you know how many calories are in that bag of chips?
No,
let's put it into MyFitnessPal and let's work out your macros on that bag of chips. That you're not speaking their language.
No.
There's zero professional empathy there. You're talking to them like an athlete. Not to say that conversation or that tool doesn't have a place, but yeah, again, that's a very unempathetic, just impersonable way to deal with these problems. Same thing when it comes to coaching. You can't just be. Sometimes you've got to be a scientist. Sometimes you've got to be an artist, right? Sometimes you've got to connect with people a little bit deeper than just technical cue points, right? Sometimes you've given someone a cue point, you've come back around and they're still making the same mistake. You need to pull them aside and say, hey, how's everything going, man? How you feeling? Something up today? You don't seem like yourself. If you want to chat, just let me know. We can hang out and go grab coffee. And I get it. I've been coaching fitness since I was 16. That'll be 21 years this year. I get that you get to a point after a few years where you look and you go, I don't want to be a fucking therapist today. I can't do it. I just don't have it in me anymore. Fine. You get to make that choice, but they get to make the choice whether they stick around when things get tough. The more you can be to them, the more they'll be back.
This is what you actually sell as a fitness coach, gym owner. This is actually what you really sell. You don't sell access to a facility with equipment in it and some classes so that they learn how to deadlift. What you actually sell. Oh, sorry. Am I frozen here?
Video's frozen. I can still hear you.
Okay.
There he is.
You're not selling them access to a facility with equipment in it. You're selling them access to, I don't know why I'm blurry now. You're selling them access to that coaching we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of rolls in nicely to, okay, there's a recession coming. What do you need to do? Who do you need to be to not just survive this recession? Again, that's that mentality issue, right? We're not looking to survive this recession. We're not going to batten down the hatches and try and, outlast this storm. We're going to crush this recession. We're going to thrive, right? Because there's still a market there. It's not going to remove the whole market. It's just going to mean that the metrics for the market, the wiggle room that we used to have isn't there anymore, right? We have to step up. We have to be undeniable. And it's very different. The more moving parts there are in your business, the more there is going on, the more distractions you have, whether that's the complexity of your programs and offerings, whether that's your ability or inability to lead your team so that you're all on the same path together, so you're all delivering the same message, whatever it is, you have to get that wired in and be undeniable at it. And that's the word I think I'm stealing from Joe Rogan here, but that's the word that I just keep repeating to box owners again and again and again, is pick the one thing you want to be and then be undeniable at that. Be relentless at that, because like I said, there'll still be a market, but the market will only tolerate, let's say right now your city's fitness market is tolerating 20 gyms of your type, right? 20 competing gyms, for lack of a better word. Maybe the recession just brings that down to, well, now there's only market for 5, maybe 3, maybe 1. Who knows? Will you be that one? Will you stand out in a way that matters to the majority of people, to the people who really need your help and can pay you? Or are you going to still be playing silly games, trying to be everything to everyone, or trying to be, building the gym that you wanted to build, which is a great idea if you're the one paying, but you're not. These members are these normal, everyday people who, given what they want to come for, pay for, stay for, be undeniable at that one thing, master that one thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just 2 more strategies I want to talk about.
Please.
I think it's time now to give long-term transformational coaching programs to your current clients and to the new clients that you would acquire during the next 6 months, because, according to this indicator, the recession would be coming in 6 months, right? So you need to probably get a bunch of new clients now, but also those new clients and your current clients, you need to give them a plan so that they can see what type of transformational results they're going to get in 6 months to a year, so that they continue with that plan during the recession.
Yeah.
Right?
Why are you doing this? Right. That's the first thing we work on when we work with gym owners is, why are you running a gym? What's the point of this? We're at point A. What is point B? Because if we don't know that, then we're completely directionless. We're going to wander, and it's eventually there's no point to keeping, going every single day. So same thing with your members, right? When they joined, they had a point B. That there's a pretty good chance that they've not just met that point B, but they've surpassed it. Maybe they generically just wanted to be fit. Maybe they specifically wanted to lose 20 pounds to fit into their wedding dress. Maybe they had lower back pain and they wanted to eliminate that. Whatever it is, there's a pretty good chance that if they've been around for a year, they've probably achieved and surpassed that initial goal. So what's their point B now, right? When shit gets tight, when they wake up in 6 months' time and the news says, scary breaking news, inflation at 15%, highest ever seen. Okay, we're officially fucked. We're in it. We're in the recession now. And by the way, everything we're talking about, if we're wrong about the recession, and God, I hope we are, that would be amazing. It's the same. Nothing changes. It just becomes more important now. But when they wake up in 6 months, 12 months time, and it's all scary, and their home loan has gone up, and their gas is now impossible to get, whatever. When they're looking at their expenses and deciding what to cut, it's a lot easier to cut your gym membership if you have no point to go to the gym. You're going there out of habit, right? You're going there because you like the people. All of these things are important, but you're not driving towards a certain goal. Whereas if you've got them, and this can be a formal program, or this can just be doing the right thing and sitting down with your members, every 6 months for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and just going, where are you? Where do you want to be? What are the key milestones along that path? How do we get there? Here's your plan. That member sits down and goes, okay, well, shit is tight, but I committed to losing this many pounds and hitting a double bodyweight deadlift by this date. I'm halfway through that goal now. I'd hate to bail on that. My gym membership's going to stay. I have a reason to turn up tomorrow. I'm on a path going somewhere, not just showing up whenever and figuratively spinning my wheels.
Right, exactly. And the last point I wanted to make is this one. I'm going to share my screen again. Is that the hard truth is that the recession is going to hit, guess who? The low income, the low class, right? Low income class. And probably the lower middle income class also. But it's not going to impact too much the higher middle class, and it's definitely not going to impact that much the upper income class. So I would say that, well, if you go more premium and transformational, well, you would then focus on the upper middle class and the upper class, right?
Yeah.
And that's gonna help. You can also still help the low income class, but you need to improve your sales skills though. And you need to help them realize that health and fitness and good energy levels is not a new line item in their budget. It's not something new in their accounting, like a new expense. It's actually taking away from all the coping mechanisms that they are spending their money already with, and just taking that money, and now it goes to their health and fitness, right? Because they are spending on fast food, they are spending on junk food, they are spending on cigarettes, they are spending on drugs, they are spending on alcohol, they are spending on porn and cam girls and a bunch of stuff. They are spending, they have their coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
So even for the low income class, if you have the right sales skills, you can still make them realize that actually, even for the low income class, them joining your gym is actually going to be cheaper than all of the coping mechanisms that they have.
Yeah.
It's actually something that will have an ROI, and that is going to actually be cheaper for their heaven, right? For good energy levels, great relationships, great even business or career. When you have better energy levels and better confidence, of course your business will do better. I have one of my clients who had a sales call recently, where the guy was missing on 500K to 1 million a year compared to when he had good energy levels. 500K to 1 million a year because now energy levels are lower. So there is a great ROI when you spend it on your health, fitness, energy levels. So it's either you want cheap heaven, right, by spending some money at the gym, or expensive hell. Do you want to spend it on insulin? Do you want to spend it on Tylenol because of your back pain and your knee pain? Do you want to spend it on, Xanax and Valium? Do you want to spend it on alcohol? Do you want to spend it on junk food? Do you want to spend all of your money, let's say, on chiropractors because you have back pain? All of those things are very expensive and it keeps you in hell. Or do you want to make the decision to go for your dreams and it's going to be actually cheaper?
Dialysis machine is incredibly expensive, and a knee reconstruction is going to bankrupt a lot of people. It is hard. Definitely, it's a challenge, I should say, not hard, to communicate this. But I would ask box owners, well, how have you tried to communicate this so far? Yes, it's hard. Absolutely, it's hard. Like you said, you've really got to sharpen on your sales skills. And for anyone who cringes when we say sales, we're talking about your ability to demonstrate the value of what you do against the price, right? Be able to show people that it's worth more than what they're paying. That's it.
The way I see sales is actually
expressing value.
The first mindset coaching session, where they make the decision to join your gym or not. But actually, it's a mindset coaching session where you give them the breakthrough they need so that they change and they make a decision.
Yeah, absolutely. When this isn't, and it sucks because we're in the fitness industry, so we kind of have to make this disclaimer. We're not saying sales in terms of pressure sales. We're not talking about overcoming objections and, I have to talk to my husband about because we make financial decisions. Well, how would your husband feel about you creating a better body for him? Like, I've seen this kind of bullshit in real life. It's disgusting. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your ability to take what you know in your heart to be the truth of what you can offer and how you can change people's lives and get them to see that and get them to see what their life is like with your product. And then it's up to them, right? If that doesn't fit with their life, that's fine. But your sales ability was your ability to demonstrate, what their life can be with your product. And to go back to the kind of low, middle, and upper class income levels, it's something that makes a lot of box owners uncomfortable, right? This idea that we're being, I've had people at seminars ask, are we being classist by charging so much? No, not at all. We're being realistic. No one got into this thinking that CrossFit or HIIT or small boutique gym, whatever you want to call it, was a low-cost solution designed for everybody. We understood that if we're going to do this small class model, that the only way the economics of it requires it to be a premium item, right? Premiumly priced, high price, high ticket, whatever you want to call it. That's a reality that we can't escape. And so you have two choices. You either accept that reality and, do what needs to be done over the next few years to make sure that, once the recession is over and the middle and lower classes hopefully start picking back up again, you're still there for them, right? You've been able to weather the storm. Or you stubbornly dig your heels in and say, no, we're going to keep our prices low so that anybody can come. And, you'll fall, unfortunately. There's no way around it, right? The numbers don't add up. What we do is premium. We have to charge accordingly.
Right, exactly. And so just want to remind you something here.
Yeah.
It could easily cost someone without insurance $1,300 per month for insulin. Right. Yeah. So now I'm going to type diabetes rates. Right. That's with diabetes, that's 13%. That's 2020. I think now it's 31% for diabetes and pre-diabetes. Right. So that's a third of the people with diabetes or pre-diabetes that would have to inject $1,300 a month worth of insulin. Yeah. Right. So you count that, right? Then maybe you count alcohol, 5 beers a day, let's say. $5 per beer. That's $25 a day. Right. If I do 25 times 30 days, now we are at 750 on beers. And then you've got Taco Bell and you've got Pizza Hut and you've got all of that. Let's say it's like
Chick-fil-A.
30, Chick-fil-A, whatever. McDonald's, all the fast food, yeah. Well, you can easily do $40 a day times 30. Yeah. That's another 1,200 here, right? So if I do just insulin plus the alcohol plus the fast food, junk food, and probably there is way more coping mechanisms, right? But I'm just gonna count that. So that's 1.3 plus 750 plus 1,200. That's 3,250 spent on what? On coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
When you should just charge 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 a month. It's still way cheaper for their dreams, right? Than 3,250 for their health.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's up to us to express that.
Exactly.
It's up to that's the missing link here, is that there's no one or very few people that are sitting there watching this right now going, no, I don't. We get it. We all get it. I think those numbers will definitely shock some people, but we all get it. The problem is what next? What's next is you have to learn how to communicate that. You have to learn.
I know what's next. Booking a call with you.
Yeah, right. Or you, any of us, right? We can help. But, we've already done the work of, hopefully we've done the work as gym owners of showing people who we are in terms of movement and community. We've worked out how to express that. We've worked out how to build that as part of our brand. Now you've got to do it with everything else that you offer, right? Now you've got to do it with if all you did was run I don't want to talk about kind of singular ad campaigns, but if all you did was an ad campaign focused around getting better sleep through fitness, how many people need that in their lives? How many people is that? It's like back pain, sleep, back pain, they're the few things that it's not just physical, mentally it starts to screw with you. And after a few weeks of not sleeping well, because of whatever, a few weeks of back pain, like all of these things are massive issues in people's lives that they will throw money at the wall if you can offer them a solution. Right? But instead, you're running ad campaigns about get fit for summer, bikini body this year, like the same shit that everyone's been doing forever that stopped working 10 years ago. Right? So can you be the alternative to Ambien? Can you be the alternative to, you know, terrible pain medication that gets people addicted and hooked? You know, like these things are fucking awful. I'm not saying anything that anyone doesn't know, but being the solution doesn't mean shit if you can't show people you're the solution. If you can't articulate that, if you can't get that message out there, sure, you can help people with their back pain. Sure, you can help them with their sleep. You can help them with their mental health. All of these things that people are struggling with now more than ever. And we're filling our bodies full of toxins to try and deal with them. That's great that you can be that to those people, but show me. So I go to your website, I go to your to your Instagram, your Facebook, I come into your gym and I talk to you. I'm not hearing any of this stuff. I'm not seeing any of this stuff.
Exactly,
Anyway.
because for 92% of the population, the ones that can't stick to their habits and goals, they are not worrying about their summer bod. They're not really worrying that much about it. First, they're going to worry about the insulin they are injecting because they have their diabetes, their back pain, their knee pain, their swollen feet, their lack of sleep. And all those things are not just impacting them in terms of health, but also in terms of relationships and in terms of wealth. Because when you have poor confidence, you're not going to go talk to that woman that you want to, you're not going to like be also a good husband. You're not going to be a good wife. You're not going to, go to social events that much if you have a low confidence. And then to make friends or to meet the love of your life is going to be complicated.
You've got low T levels because you've been low T levels because you've been sitting on the couch for the last 5 years eating chips every day playing Xbox. And so now you're taking fucking dick hard pills that are going to cause you to have a heart attack in the next 5 years.
And then it's
you could just go and pick up some weight.
It's a divorce because your wife is not satisfied, and you have 2 kids and they are 8 years old and 5 years old. That's the reality of what they are dealing with. It's not just the summer bod. It's also all of those things. And also in terms of their career or in terms of their business, if they have low energy levels, they're not going to move forward with their career. They're not going to go to the next level. And they're just going to be stagnating with their life and their success.
And we're at a point now where more than ever, you can kind of talk about everything now. And if we can talk about it, we can market about it, right? 10 years ago, we did not talk about mental health. God, no. Oh my, the thought, for me growing up, the thought of someone admitting to a mental health issue, even just anxiety, that was wild. You would never admit that stuff. You would never talk about depression. You'd be a pariah. It was horrible. Now it's an open discussion to the extent that we can openly talk about it, and we can market in the sense that educate people who don't know what we do, that this is a solution, right? Same thing with ED, erectile dysfunction, right? You go back just 5 years ago, no one said it. No one knew what that term even was because no one talked about it. And now you can't, turn on TV, you can't, ads everywhere. Does your dick not work? Take this pill. Don't worry about what it'll do to you in 10 years, right? These are all massive issues, right? And we're kind of picking on these two, whatever. But these are massive issues that people have that we have the solution to, right? But we're still sitting here going, do you want to get abs? Join our community and get fit. It's overplayed. It's done. You have so much. You can help people in such more impactful ways, but it's all for naught if you don't know how to communicate that with them.
Exactly. You gotta learn the communication skills. You gotta learn the marketing skills, the advertising skills, the sales skills, so that you can communicate all of those things. For sure. Just gonna share here some stats that I just found. So now obesity is at 43%. Diabetes is at 10% and 33% pre-diabetes. So I guess that's 10 plus 33 if you want to add the two.
Yeah.
Depression rate is now at 60%. Heart attack accounts for 30% of death, while the first one was recorded in 1912. And cancer is at 31%. While same, it's like a new thing. Before, it was cancer did not exist.
No.
All those things can be fixed through lifestyle, right? And you guys are the ones providing this lifestyle coaching. It's not the doctors that will do that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not you, who else?
Yeah.
Right.
We are the pharmaceutical company. We have the pill. We have the solution. It's harder. It's not as easy. You don't just get to get up in the morning and neck the pill on the way to work. You're going to have to put some work in. But everything that the richest companies in the world, everything that they can fix, not everything, a lot of what they can fix, the main things that they can fix, whether it's chronic pain or all this stuff we're talking about. I won't repeat everything, but we can fix that. We have the power to fix that. But yet we still want to put out into the world, hey, we do deadlifts. Come do deadlifts with us. It's fun.
Right.
It is fun. Absolutely it is. But we've got so much else going on. And, you know, all we're talking about here really is positioning yourself so that, you know, look, when the recession hits and people have to start doing those lists of what to keep and what to cut, medication is going to be in the keep list, right? Or anything that is a substitute for it, right? So if you can show people, if you can prove to people, if you can demonstrate that you can deal with all of these issues, or that you can eliminate them, mitigate them, whatever, you're going to be in a lot stronger position.
Exactly. The recession is coming. This is why they should spend $300, $400 a month on your membership, so that they save money on all the other coping mechanisms they need and the drugs and medicine that they need, so that they can save money for a better life instead of spending so much for a crappy life.
I see.
That's it. All right, man. How can we work with you? I think we spoke for like more than an hour already.
Yeah, we killed it. I'm sure
we could go for hours and hours. How can we get in contact with you? What do you have to offer? Tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. So for now, really, really simple. If you want help, you go to vivegroup.co, VIVE group.co. The only thing available on there right now is a 30-minute free call. That's it. That's all I'm offering right now. So there's no sale, there's no bullshit. It will not go for 30 minutes. It'll usually go for longer, and I will throw so much help, so much value, so much information at you. 1st of August, we're launching our group coaching platform, Vive Tribe. If there's one thing I've learned, and I'm so angry at myself, I didn't pick up on this last time around, but if there's one thing I'm picking up on right now, because I never intended on doing group coaching. I like one-on-one coaching. I like seminars, but group coaching never really was going to be part of the plan. But one of the things that I'm seeing right now is, yes, gym owners want direction. They want personalized service. They need help from someone like me, someone like you. But what they need as much, or maybe even more, is peer support, right? Is they need to see other gym owners that are going through the same things. Because when things are bad, they think they're the only one who's suffering. They think they're the only one who's got this problem because, you know, either gym owners don't talk to gym owners, or if they do, they're not talking honestly. They're either puffing their chest and saying, yeah, we're doing great, we've got lots of members, or they're complaining about members, or, you know, they're not sitting down going, I have a problem with A, B, and C. And then the other gym owner is going, oh, wow, I actually have solutions to A, B, and C, but I have problems with X, Y, and Z. And then the other, you know what I mean? There isn't this community support. So we've got boxes from all over the world, from 60 plus countries, I think it is now, that we've worked with, bringing them together in one place where I'll be there to guide and to coach and to set the tone and to ask the right questions to get people to do the work in the right direction. But equally, having each other there is going to be massive. So yeah, that's the first step. And then the challenge is to make it fun, something that people wake up and they want to be a part of every day, and something that's affordable, because we've got boxes in Sweden and we've got boxes in the Philippines, Mexico and the US. We've got boxes that are at so many different levels, and I really want to make sure that no one is excluded, that everyone has access. So we've worked really hard on that. So that'll be 1st of August. That'll go live. But for now, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook. And if you want to book in a call, hit vivegroup.co, book in a call, and I'll talk at you hard and fast like we just have.
Amazing. Always amazing to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.